Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'm Someguyrb, and this is Some Charity. We are benefiting the American Heart Association, and this charity means a lot to me. This charity is going to become a yearly thing for me. We started doing this last year. In 2019, I lost my father to a stroke, May of 2019. And May is also Stroke Awareness Month. And even though it's a terrible situation, it's kind of the perfect timing for this kind of event. My heart goes out to anybody who has lost somebody due to heart failure, heart disease, or strokes. And that is why we are doing this. It's for everybody. It's for you, it's for me, it's for everybody. So what happened with my father is he was in the best health of his life for like 10 years. He had lost weight, he stopped smoking long before that, and it just randomly happened. He was like 58, 59 years old, and it just came out of nowhere. And that's probably the hardest part about this. We didn't see it coming. My father, in all of his faults, in his younger years, he had, anger problems. But he grew into this just wonderful, understanding man who loved his family and was very giving to everybody around him. Everybody loved him. He was extremely charismatic. I like to think that that's where I got some of my charisma from, but who knows? But yeah, just this sudden change in our lives, those of us who survived him, has been weird. It has been extremely weird. My family, we actually always expected my mom to be the one to go first. I mean, I'm happy that we still have her, but she battled cancer and an autoimmune disorder, and she's still with us. And I'd like to think that my dad would be proud of what I've created here with my Twitch. I mean, it's small, right? I'm a small streamer, but he's always been somebody who loved video and audio recording. He was an amateur photographer himself. And in fact, a lot of the equipment that I use here was his. This desk was his. The house that I'm living in now was him and my mom's. I have so much in my life I have so much to be thankful for in my life from my dad. And unfortunately, a lot of it came from his passing, but there's not a day that goes by that I wish he wasn't still here. Make sure you tell those of you that you love them. I know it sounds corny, but it is incredibly important. A lot of these diseases, heart failures and strokes, hit out of nowhere. You never see it coming. So hopefully through this charity that we've put together, we can help others possibly not lose either their own lives or their loved ones. And that's what I love about the American Heart Association, is that they're not, they don't do the financial support thing for people. The majority of their money goes to research and development to help prevent these kinds of things from occurring to people in the future. The American Heart Association donates roughly 80% of their earnings, which is a huge number for charities. And now we're going to go ahead and hear from some others about how these ailments have affected them in their lives. So enjoy, and I'll see you soon.
Hey, I am the Abominable MelBeast from twitch.tv/theabominablemellbeast. Two different friends of mine, one of which was a coworker of mine maybe about 10 years ago. He was young, they were both young, and it really just kind of shook the whole restaurant. It's one of those things that I think, maybe younger people don't know is a concern. I think it's great that this organization, that one of the things they do is raise awareness. He probably had no idea that anything was even wrong. My other buddy was very similar. They were both under 40. I don't think he even knew he had health problems. I think the thing that stands out to me with both instances is that just we didn't see it coming. That's kind of one of the saddest, scariest parts about it. I think it's really important to create awareness, especially with men. Like, I think a lot of guys think that they're invincible, or, you know, there's an embarrassment or a social shame in going to the doctor. If I could just urge everyone to, you know, take care of your health, even if you think you're too young for something like this, to just be aware, take care of yourselves. My brother, you know, we're both in our 30s now. You know, I worry about him. All members of my family, of course. Health is so important, and the older I get, you know, I'm 36 this year. You know, it's something I think about for myself. You know, I know that the symptoms are different for women. More education needs to be available for people. I think listening to your body is really important. Self-advocacy is really important. If you don't feel like you're being taken seriously by like one particular medical person, have the respect for yourself to like demand to talk to someone else. Like, no one's gonna stand up for you as hard as you can stand up for yourself. Both times, especially the second time, feeling really caught off guard, defeated. As much as I could let my anxiety take effect and just beat myself up and be like, I should have helped somehow. You know, the frustrating truth is what's so scary about this sort of thing is that there probably isn't anything anyone could have done. The similarity with both of the losses was both of them, they were asleep. Both of them were people who, you know, were really just kind of like cool, reliable people, you know, so when they weren't heard from, it was immediately concerning. I just remember in both instances, like the word would just kind of slowly start to spread throughout the friend group. Steven, I knew a little more. We were work friends, and we would sometimes see each other at after work little get-togethers. Danny, who I knew through conventions, the really hard thing with him especially, we all knew the kinds of things he was fans of. He was really into the Godzilla movies, so just having those monster cinematic universe or whatever, and like just every time another one of those comes out, his Facebook page, you know, people will just leave comments on it and be like, oh, I just saw Godzilla versus King Kong, like, you would have loved this, bro, thinking of you, like, poured one out for you, like, you'll just, it's been, I guess, about 7 years now, and like the positivity just still flows in like annually, and you know, it's so just tragic and disappointing, and you know, it's just such a shame. They were both under 40, still had movies to see. When we first started communicating about this project, these were the two names that just immediately came to mind. You know, that's why this is such an awesome event, because now I get to share these stories for a good cause. I'm proud and honored. Women like me who are starting to get a little bit older and who are not receiving kind of like the updated information that I think young people are today, just don't even know what the symptoms can be. And I think it's really important to learn that so that you can look out for yourself. You know, my heart goes out with worry to the men in my life, my brother, my dad. I worry that they're gonna, you know, work through the pain and again, like, not advocate for themselves, assume that it means nothing and that they'll be fine, and like, oh, I'll get it taken care of tomorrow. You know, I urge everyone and myself, you know, I need to remind myself, respect yourself enough to take things seriously when your body starts talking to you. It's not worth the risk to be a tough guy. You're not gonna win a medal for not going to the doctor. Be the advocate for your own health. Always have kindness for the people in your life. Don't ever tease someone about wanting to go to the doctor or being in pain. There is a lot of anxiety and shame in our society just because we were kind of raised to be tough and not talk about these things. And it makes me happy that that trend seems to be changing. I think a lot of these experiences and fears are a lot more common than any of us realize. And I think that just by talking about it, you know, and bringing awareness to these things, that is a really good step in the right direction.
Hello, I'm Tia. I am a streamer from Florida. I guess I'm a VTuber, so hello. So I had this old friend, her name was Lauren. I think we'd met, I want to say around 5 or 6. Our parents had met actually at a church that they both went to. And so we both would often meet each other and spending time with each other. And it was almost every single day we'd hang out with each other. I think it was around middle school, so around 12, 13. She was on vacation, and I had to ask my mom to remember everything, but she was on vacation. she had a stroke, and she was in the hospital for about a week. After that, she slowly kind of went into a psychosis state about in the same week while she was in the hospital. And after about a year, that became schizophrenia and led into this whole deep dive where she was constantly in the hospital. They were constantly putting on medication wasn't working, and I never really got to see her, and it was kind of just this whole thing of trying to figure out how to get her back to herself. They couldn't find a way to get her kind of back to the way she was, which made everybody really just kind of, it was kind of a sad moment, especially seeing someone when I was like 13 and she was 13. Since I was very young and that was kind of one of my only friends, being able to go from having her almost every day of the week to once a week, maybe twice a month, being able to see her, it was very long of an effect, not only on myself and my family, because my mother was never able to see one of her best friends anymore. My father liked hanging out with her family. My brothers loved enjoying just going over there. We'd often go, hang out with each other. So because of this whole situation that had happened for Lauren, we never really got to see each other again, and our families never really got to connect other than like over Facebook or over the internet, which kind of was really upsetting. Because of that whole situation, she didn't really have access to anything. It wasn't until about a year ago that I was able to get in contact with her, because her family had they finally gotten her into a recovery state, as my mother put it, that she was able to contact everybody again. It was still kind of that thing where she's changed. She doesn't really remind me, of how she was when she was younger. But I think she's doing better. I definitely want to say she's doing a lot better than when I'd first, gone to see her after she'd gotten out of the hospital. You couldn't talk to her. She'd just sit on her bed, and I was like, hey, want to go around the neighborhood, want to hang out? She would just be like, no, I don't want to leave my room. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything, which was very hard because we were both very extroverted people. So we were both like, let's go out. Let's go to the park. Let's go hang out. Let's go to the gas station. Her family was so often in the hospital and whatnot, or going to get testing done, or she'd had a seizure or something and they needed to take her in and they had to keep her there for a while, that her family never was really around. Not only was my family really upset about it, but I know a lot of other people that were really upset. It sucks to see, a family kind of deteriorate just because of that one situation that's happened. And when I hear these kind of stories, I get really sad, because then I kind of think about it. It's just, for a lot of people, it just happens when you're not even expecting it. Like I worked as lifeguard for a few years, and we've had our fair case of issues that come on the deck. And I remember just seeing this one day where this young woman, maybe in her 20s, came in, and of course the fire station and the hospital aren't too far. They're maybe 5 minutes away, which honestly was the most amazing thing in this situation. She's walking around, she gets off the slide, she gets out of the water. We noticed that she's not walking kind of right, and me and another person are kind of like, maybe she's drunk, maybe something, maybe she's just she's drunk something, she drank too much. When it's over, you can just tell that she's not right. Like she falls over, and of course at that point we're like, all right, we whistle, we get EMS on the way. And we didn't actually realize it until she got in the ambulance that they were like, she's having a stroke. And we're like, oh my, it hit us at the heart, because when we're trained, we're only really trained to deal with seizures at the highest, or venomous bites from animals. So when you see that kind of thing happening, it's like are they going to live? Are they going to make it to the hospital? Are they going to be able to make it out alive? It's kind of like a weight on your chest. Hearing that you have that interest in the association, just, it makes me happy to know that there's people out there fighting to try and help figure out how to help prevent it. If there is someone who does end up getting affected, that is close to you with a heart disease or a form of such, don't be scared to kind of stand and be there to help them. When I was younger, seeing that kind of at first hand was really scary, especially when I was lifeguarding and saw that first thing. I had to stand back and kind of sit down for a little bit to kind of let it wash over. And I regret not pushing myself to be closer and trying to help, my friend get more comfortable after everything that happened. So even if it doesn't feel like it, unless they're like actively pushing you away, they really need that comfort and that help, just to have people they love there with them. I love you guys.
Before we end this video, I want to thank the Abominable MelBeast and Tiaq Jade for providing those stories. I know that wasn't easy for either one of them. It meant a lot to me that you guys were willing to share those stories. So before we sign off, once again, thank you. I hope these stories helped you guys, the viewers, realize how important this charity means to me, the MelBeast, Tiaq Jade, and everybody that we know. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. I'm some guy, and this is some charity. Well, not just any charity, the American Heart Association. Last May, we raised $1,800. This year, we're going for more. Through the help of my friends and family and viewers like you, I think we can get over $2,000. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be at least a 12-hour stream, and we will be joined by some of my fellow streamers, like the Abominable MelBeast, Tiaq Jade, and possibly more. This charity is in honor of my father, who I lost in May of 2019 from a stroke. May is also Stroke Awareness Month. I hope to see you guys there.
Thank you so much for watching.
Your contribution to the American Heart Association
Will make a difference.
If you can't contribute,
that's fine.
Instead,
please share this video
and let's help beat this.
And let's help beat this
together.
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 Together.